This is the story of a 9-year-old boy who breaks the chains of slavery and rises to become a great and powerful ruler of the world on his own. The story begins in 1172 in the area now known as northwestern China, which was called the Tangut Kingdom at the time. Many Mongolian tribes resided here, and their leaders were called Khans. These Khans didn't get along due to their hunger for power, resulting in frequent fights and numerous casualties on both sides. With no rules or laws governing the Mongols, they needed a supreme Khan to unite them. In the next scene, we're introduced to a man named Yasui, a small and overweight Khan from the western part of China. Yasui embarks on a journey with his men and his son Temujin in search of a wife for his son. Temujin in search of a wife for his son. As night falls, they stop at a friend's tribe to rest. The next morning, while Temujin is tending to his horse, a girl named Bote approaches him. She inquires about his name and the purpose of his visit. Temujin introduces himself and explains that he has come to find a suitable wife for himself with his father. Bote then suggests that he should marry her and playfully runs away. Later, when Temujin discusses this encounter with his father, Yasui insists on finding a wife from the most powerful tribe. However, Temujin expresses his desire to choose his own bride, and his father eventually agrees. The following morning, Yasui lines up all the girls from the tribe and carefully examines their feet. He believes that only a girl with strong legs can keep her husband happy. Temujin carefully observes all the girls and ultimately selects Bote as his wife. They get married, but tribal customs dictate that they cannot live together for the next 5 years. Before parting, Temujin gifts Bote a necklace and promises to return soon. They resume their journey. After a short while, they stop at a resting place where they find themselves facing members of another Khan tribe. Seeking to establish friendship, the opposing Han sends a man with a bowl of milk as a gesture of goodwill. Yasui accepts the bowl and reciprocates by sending a bowl of milk in return. Yasui's men advise him to have the milk tested by a servant before consuming it. Yasui ignores this advice and drinks the milk himself, aiming to maintain the Khan's trust. The other Khan, in turn, drinks the milk sent by Yasui. Shortly after, Yasui experiences intense chest pain and falls from his horse, ultimately succumbing to death. It becomes evident that the Khan took advantage of Yasui's honesty and poisoned the milk. Temujin rushes to his father, but those accompanying him prepare to leave, following the tradition of choosing a strong and powerful leader. Temujin, along with his mother, performs the final rites for his father. In the next scene, we meet Targutai, Yasui's most trusted soldier. He seizes numerous sheep and goats belonging to Yasui and his household. Enraged, Temujin's mother curses him, foretelling his death at the hands of her son. Disturbed by her words, Targutai decides to kill Temujin immediately. However, according to Mongol customs, one must measure the height of the person to be killed using a chariot, and killing children is forbidden. When Targutai measures Temujin's height, he is saved because he is still short. Targutai informs Temujin's mother that he will return to kill him once Temujin's height and age have increased the following year. When winter arrives, Temujin has nowhere to hide. He remembers his father's words, encouraging him to seek help from God Tenri in times of trouble. He flees towards the secret mountain but falls onto a snow-covered lake, nearly drowning. However, a boy named Jamuka of the same age rescues him just in time. Jamuka and his older brother take Temujin to their home. They perform a ritual where they cut their hands, mix their blood with milk, and have Temujin drink it. The next morning, Targutai arrives in search of Temujin. Targutai's men capture Temujin, but when they measure his height using the wheel of their chariot, it remains the same as before. Consequently, they decide to keep him as a prisoner. An elder from their tribe takes care of Temujin, providing him with food and medicine for his wounds. Eventually, it starts raining and everyone rushes home. Taking advantage of the situation, the elder frees Temujin from Targutai's captivity. Temujin escapes by wearing a wooden flag around his neck and attempts to reach the mountain where God Tenri resides. As he reaches the mountain, he asks for his wish, but he spots a white wolf. Upon seeing the wolf, the flag attached to Temujin's neck falls off by itself. In the next scene, we are transported to the year 1186. Temujin has grown into a young boy, yet he is still hunted by Targutai's people. One day, they capture him and tie him up with the same wooden flag from his childhood. Targutai intends to torture and kill him, but Temujin refuses to succumb to such brutality and remains prepared to die happily. The old man who had previously helped him provides him with water. Later that night, while everyone is occupied with their own tasks, Targatai approaches Temujin to have a conversation, thinking that he would not get a better chance. Temujin kills him with the same wooden flag and runs away from there. Now he is ready to become a Khan. First, he goes to meet his childhood wife, Boat. Boat has grown up now and is beautiful too. Temujin takes Boat from there and goes to his mother and sister. Both are very happy to see them. For many days, they live their lives happily. But the problem comes one day when the people of the Marquis tribe attack them. Many years ago, Temujin's father kidnapped the mother of the Marquis tribe's Khan. To put out this fire of revenge, those people had come here to kidnap Boat. Temujin and Boat try to escape from there. The Marquis Khan wants to make Boat his wife, so he kidnaps her. On the other hand, Temujin swears to bring his wife back, but he is not enough to do this alone. So he goes to his blood brother Jamuka and asks for help because Jamuka is now a Khan of a powerful tribe. Jamuka is ready to attack, but he takes a year's time. Slowly, a year's time also passes. Now both brothers take their armies and attack the Marquis tribe. After killing all the people of the Marquis tribe, they take their necessary belongings. Temujin sees Boat in a tent who is now pregnant. Despite that, he accepts it. That night, these people celebrate their great victory. When they tell Temujin to distribute the goods among themselves, Temujin keeps only 10% of the goods with him, and the rest, 90%, is distributed among the families of the people who died in the war. 2 people of the Jamuka tribe are affected by it and join Temujin. Now that the Mongols can choose their own food, Jamuka cannot do anything. But seeing all this, Jamuka's mind is hurt, and he starts killing Temujin as his enemy. In the next scene, Temujin's men steal horses and take away Jamuka's men. Temujin's men get angry and start killing them. But when they go near, they find out that one of the dead people is a brother of Jamuka. As soon as this news reaches Jamuka, he swears to end Temujin's program. He joins hands with the food of other tribes around and attacks the tribe of Temujin. Temujin knows that he will not be able to win this war with so few soldiers. So he sends his tribe's children and women away from there and tells the rest to fight. Despite fighting, Temujin loses this war. He wants to see Temujin writhing, so he sells him to some other tribe, people who take him to the desert for a long time. After walking a long distance, they reach a city where the Tangut dynasty was. They put Temujin on the ground so that other people can buy him. One day, the king of this dynasty comes to this market, and after seeing Temujin, he agrees to buy him. But the king's people refuse to buy him, but he still buys Temujin. In the next scene, they imprison Temujin in a dungeon, which is in the middle of the city, so that the people who pass through there can laugh loudly at him. In this dungeon, a monk comes every day and apologizes to Temujin. One day, Temujin makes a condition in front of the Buddhist monk. If you find my wife, I will not harm this village at all in the future. After this, the Buddhist monk goes to find the calf on the way to the desert. But because the Buddhist monk is old and the heat is also high, he dies. When the calf is passing through there, she finds the same necklace from the Buddhist monk that Temujin had given her, and she understands that Temujin is still alive. As soon as she sees this, she goes to the city where she sees that Temujin is imprisoned in a cage. As soon as night falls, the calf bribes a soldier there and takes Temujin away from there. The calf and Temujin come home where the whole family lives in peace and happiness. Then one day, the calf tells Temujin that all the Mongols are the same, all steal, kill each other. This is common for the Mongols. But Temujin feels bad about it and leaves his family and goes away. He swears that now he will unite all the tribes and make a new Mongol king. Even if he has to kill someone for this work, he will not back down. The scene is cut from here and we reach the year 1196, where Temujin has now united all the tribes and made a large Mongol army. Now there is only one obstacle in the way of becoming king, and that is his brother Jamuka. Jamuka also has a very large army, and they both come to the battlefield to fight with their entire armies. Temujin wants to make Jamuka understand as a brother, but Jamuka sends all his soldiers to attack without thinking, causing many of Jamuka's soldiers to be killed. The war lasts for many hours, and this time Temujin easily wins the war. Temujin imprisons many of Jamuka's men, including Jamuka himself, and instead of killing them, he integrates them into his army. At night, when Temujin sits to talk to Jamuka, he tells him that his greed for his own kingdom has brought him to the point of life where they have become enemies of each other. Then Jamuka says, "If I were in your place, I would have killed you at that time." Temujin feels pity for Jamuka. and he asks him to forgive him and go away from there. Then we see Botei, who comes to meet Temujin, and seeing her, he's very happy. The scene changes from here, and we see Temujin in the year 1206 when he becomes the Khan of all Mongol. Now people start knowing him as Genghis Khan, and his other name is also Chengiz Khan. After this, he destroys the entire Tangut Empire,